Hello and welcome to everyone watching. My name is Surjo, and in this video I shall be doing a small demo of the Vox SDC 22. It's an SG styled guitar by Vox, and of course Vox is more famous for its amplifiers, but they've been making guitars I think pretty much for as long as they've been making amplifiers. And I had the chance to come across this guitar at Briganza's Musicals in Kolkata, and it just seems like a really interesting deal. So I just want to play it a little bit and go through some of the features that it has and talk about some of it. So the Vox SDC 22 has two humbuckers. Starting directly from the pickups, it has two humbuckers. It's their own XTC mini humbucker technology, so like technically mini humbuckers. And it has the coil tap right here, so you can go switch from it being single coil to it being humbucker. The way I'm going to approach this demo is basically I'm just going to talk about this wide range of sounds. So what we're hearing now is going to be the humbucker on the bridge pickup. It has a three-way toggle select, pretty much neck, combination of two, middle and bridge. So we're going to start. We're going to move on to the middle position. This is in the bridge position, now is the middle position. Finally, the neck position. We're going to go back to the bridge position, but now we're going to have it on the single coil setting rather than the humbucker, and just I'll switch from the humbucker to the single coil so that you can hear the difference in the gain structure. Right, so you can hear that there's definitely a reduction in gain once the single coil is activated and it's not humbuckers anymore. Even though these are mini humbuckers, I have found that the pickups are quite hot even in the single coil configuration. So this is the single coil and in the middle position. Keep in mind that I'm not changing anything on the amplifier. And just for the sake of clarity, the signal chain right now is my Vox goes into the Boss Katana, which is going into the interface on minimum gain from the interface. So whatever is happening basically through the amplifier, and it's a line out. It's not the mic. It's not been mic'd. It's the line out which is being used. despite being such a heavy sounding patch when we were using the humbuckers and the bridge pickup, where you can hear such a lot of grit happening. It just cleans up, and we haven't done anything with the amp, so the guitar is presenting a lot of interesting tonal options. Now on the neck pickup with single coil. So you can see the difference between the humbucker and the single coil in terms of the gain structure, and it's just a difference in the amount of grit that is being activated through the amp because the input changes due to the change in the single coil and humbuckers. Speaking of the shape and wood and so on and so forth, it's a rosewood fingerboard, and it has a mahogany neck and a mahogany body. It has aluminium tuners and aluminium bridge. It has, like, the SG shape is a double cutaway, and it's there are no bolts here. It's almost neck through, and it has a single master volume knob, master tone knob. We're going to get to that. It has 22 medium jumbo frets. And also something which is interesting, it's quite a light guitar actually, and you can also see that it's a very thin guitar. It's very contoured. It has beautiful contours, a lovely shape, and it's a very light guitar, which I personally like because I'm used to playing a slightly heavier Strat, so to have this as well is sort of interesting, and it's quite cool. So we're seeing that the coil tap is providing quite a few tonal options, which is nice, but something which is also very, very good is the volume knob. It's very, very responsive, and again, just to reiterate, like what I'm actually playing with, since I'm not changing the sound of the amplifier, is this really heavy-ish tone. So as you can hear, it's kind of a heavy sound without changing anything from the amplifier. We're just going to switch to the single coil, to the neck position, the middle position, sorry, and we're just going to roll off the volume, and we're going to see like what a difference the tonality, what difference it makes to the tone of the guitar. Full volume. tonally speaking, it's the and for those who have been following my channel, y'all probably know that my main guitar is a Stratocaster, Fender Stratocaster, and I've been playing that for over 12 years. And tonally speaking, this is different to a Stratocaster because it doesn't have the scooped out mids that a Strat is normally associated with. This has more of the honky feel associated with a Gibson, and which, for the purposes of diversity in your guitar collection, at least for my personal sake, since I do own a Strat, and it's nice to have the humbucker aspect of it as well as the sort of honky aspect of it as well. It's not as pristine clean as the Strat is normally in the mid-range. But you can see with the volume roll off, it has a really nice effect. Volume's on 6 right now. 4. Six, 8, and 10. And similarly, we could try something like that with the tone as well, the tone knob, to see what happens. So if we keep the thing on, you can see sort of like how the treble is rolled off, but it's not as pronounced as I have noticed in Strats and Gibsons. The tone roll off is not as pronounced, which is that's not a deal breaker for me, honestly, because both the tones are workable tones. The sort of wah effect is far lesser pronounced in this. That's just me rolling the tone knob to its fullest and to its least, maximum and minimum. So you can hear when it's rolled off to its minimum, it gets sort of honky, and it gets sort of nice and full with the richness of the treble coming through. But again, it's not as pronounced as it is in a Gibson or a Fender. you can hear that it's a pretty versatile guitar. It offers a lot of tonal options with the two humbuckers and the coil tap. With the three-way selector, it has a wide range of sounds, and the volume knob being so responsive. The tone knob, not so much, but offering a little something, a little taste, which is fine. Again, aluminum parts, rosewood fretboard, mahogany body, quite light, very sleek and contoured. Very playable fretboard. Very honestly, like my fastest stuff is happening on this guitar as of now, which of course makes me really happy. I've taken it out for a couple of 3 or 4 gigs so far, of a little heavier nature, where a little like heavy metal music and stuff is being played, hard rock. Let's be honest, hard rock, and it has performed really well. And for the budget, I think it outperforms the competition in the same range, and it is comparable to guitars which are like definitely more expensive than this. Maybe quite a bit more expensive than this as well. So it's definitely something that people could look into, because people normally don't associate Vox, apart from their amplifiers, they don't associate it with a cool guitar. But to me, this is like a really functional, really effective guitar, and I'm all for it. Like, I'm sold. Quick story for myself. Like, this is something that I've always being a fan of the stories of rock music and the stories of guitar players. I've always wanted to be in the position where I used to read about in Guitar Player magazine or things like that, where a musician walks by the window of a guitar store and they see a guitar that has been lying there and it has been unused, or maybe nobody picked it up or something of that nature, and they get it for themselves, and it turns out to be an amazing piece of equipment, an amazing guitar that they use for years and years. And that was sort of what happened with me, because this guitar, unfortunately, for everyone else, was lying at the store at Briganza's for years. I even had the opportunity to test run it myself around 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, yeah. And 5 years later, nobody had picked the guitar up. And I just thought that, I wanted humbuckers, because all I had was single coils in my collection of electric guitars. I wanted the humbucking option. I was going to play couple of tribute gigs where hard rock was necessary, and I thought that this would be, because it had like the Gibson-esque feeling, for a fraction of the price. I couldn't say no to it, and I picked it up. I got a good deal as well. Thank you, Briganza, as always, for looking out for musicians. And I genuinely can't recommend this enough. Like, seriously, it's a really good guitar. If you come across it in a store or something, give it a try. Give this guitar a try. You'll be quite surprised with your experience playing the guitar. So that was my review for the Vox SDC 22. If you like the review, please press subscribe. There'll be more demos coming up, and I'll be making more attempts to present you with certain kinds of videos that maybe you might enjoy. And if there are things that you would look forward from me, like, something maybe different, anything at all that you would be willing to see coming from me on a regular basis, that is not just a demo or things of that nature, do let me know, because I really want to try and bridge the gap, or build a bridge between myself and to whoever would be interested in my journey, in the sort of way, like in my association with the guitar and stuff. Maybe if I could share some of whatever I've gained over the years, that would be amazing. Let me know what I can do. Let me know how I can better communicate my journey to you all, so that I can share what is going on with me. Let me know how you all would like to consume that, and I'll do my best. And till next time, you guys take care.